Hi parents, this screencast is designed to take the place of a meeting that we typically have for newly identified gifted students in May. Because this is a remote meeting or presentation, I am going to shorten the presentation to give you just sort of the basic information. I'm also going to attach some additional information that we typically go over to this email. However, I don't want to create a screencast that's 15 or 20 minutes long. I will be sharing my contact information at the end of this screencast, so please feel free to reach out to me with additional questions. So first, if you're watching this, it probably means that your child has been identified as gifted, and I wanted to kind of just clarify what does it mean to be gifted. The National Association of Gifted Children defines gifted individuals as those who demonstrate outstanding levels of aptitude, so that's usually sort of IQ or cognitive ability, or competence, so that's achievement, sort of that academic achievement. And so if you are listening to this, your child has probably been identified in one of those two ways. The state of Ohio actually defines giftedness in 7 separate categories, and each category is tested for separately, and students are able or can be identified as gifted in all or some or just one of these categories. The first is superior cognitive ability. We test for superior cognitive ability in 2nd and 4th grade. The closest description I can give you for this is similar to IQ, although we do not use IQ testing for this. At the same time that we test for superior cognitive ability, we also screen all students who have a cognitive score of a 111 or higher for creative thinking. And so again, that happens in 2nd and 4th grade. And then we also test students for giftedness in reading and math in 1st and 5th grade, and science and social studies in 6th grade. The visual performing arts encompasses really all that you can think of it related to the arts: drawing, dance, performance, music performance. We test this only by referral, and we actually use the Montgomery County Educational Service Center to help us with that evaluation. So once your child has been identified as gifted, what do we do for them? We do provide gifted service for students starting in 2nd grade all the way through 12th grade. In 2nd and 3rd grade, what that looks like is this. So in 2nd grade, our gifted students are clustered deliberately into groups of 5 or 7 within the regular classroom. So I work with each building principal. I group students together based on their areas of identification, and then they are deliberately placed in that small group within a regular classroom so that that regular classroom teacher can provide small group differentiated instruction. A couple things to know about that: the service provider, or the person providing the gifted service, is the classroom teacher. Those teachers have professional development specifically related to teaching gifted students, and they have access to both a gifted intervention specialist to ask for feedback or help, and myself and the resources that we have purchased for them. For our gifted readers, the service remains the same in 3rd grade. So same idea of clustering students together within a regular reading class for small group instruction. In addition to that, we do have gifted service provided by gifted intervention specialists. For students who are gifted in cognitive ability, math, or creative thinking, that service starts in 3rd grade. So starting in 3rd grade, those students attend a STEM class 45 minutes a day that's taught by a gifted intervention specialist. It takes the place of the student's science time, and the focus of the class is really on math skills, science skills, but also critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, working in groups. And I would say there is quite an emphasis on not only academic rigor, but also social emotional development within that class. Students are engaging in problem-based learning, and that class goes from 3rd through 6th grade. Our gifted readers enter into the green program in 4th grade, That is taught by a gifted intervention specialist. It's a little bit different. It's a blend of both face-to-face and online learning. So for 45 minutes a week, students meet with a gifted intervention specialist, and then they interact with that gifted intervention specialist and their classmates throughout the rest of the week using an online platform. The work that they complete for Green is intended to take the place of work that is assigned by the classroom teacher. So there are times throughout the week, either daily or every other day, when the classroom teacher excuses our gifted students from some of the work she or he is assigned, and instead they are given the opportunity to work on their Green work. Those students are clustered together in one reading classroom, and that work is intended to be differentiated to their ability level. I always get the question, can students be in both of these programs? And the answer is yes. We provide service based on your area of identification. So if you are identified in math and reading, you would receive both of these services. One huge focus for our department, in addition to academic service, is social emotional development. And we specifically focus on growth mindset because we know we have a lot of students who struggle with perfectionism. Perfectionism is a common characteristic of gifted students, and it can manifest in a lot of different ways. So you could see the student who takes a very, very long time to do their work because they need to get it exactly perfect. You could see a student who really has emotional outbursts because when they encounter something they can't do perfectly, they get very frustrated. Or you can see a student refuse to even start work because they're fearful they will not be able to do it perfectly. And this is a characteristic of a lot of our students. So we really work very hard with those students for them to understand that the work we are providing them is intended to be rigorous and challenging and not intended for them to be able to do it perfectly the first time. And that in fact, intelligence is an elastic thing. It can grow and improve. And the best way to do that is to encounter things that make you struggle and that can't get right all the time. And so that is something that we really emphasize within our classes. And we really hope to also emphasize that with our families because there are sometimes students who get very focused on grades and focused on making sure they get that at 100 every time. And that is really not the intent of our gifted services. Our gifted services are designed for students to engage in productive struggle. And we really feel that's a very important thing for elementary students to set them up for long-term success. So as I said, this is a very shortened version of this meeting. I really just went over gifted service and then sort of the curriculum that we use. Typically, I would talk more extensively about the characteristics of gifted students and how those might manifest at home and at school. And I am attaching information about that to this email, but I am not going to include it in this presentation. Please feel free to reach out to me. My email is jzink@northmontschools.net or jzink@northmontschools.net. And we can definitely correspond via email, phone, however I can help you to better understand what is going to be happening for your child in the future.